Good morning and welcome to the category mistake. It is morning, yes, it is pouring out where I am. And this week I want to talk about how things in our lives change our perspective on things. Lately I've been hearing a lot of talk about not just athletes, but people in general, how, you know, one person, one thing, one decision has changed them for either the better or the worse. When I got married, I thought, oh, my wife's not going to change me. Oh, when I have kids, my kids aren't going to change me. What I've realized over time, of course, is that everybody changes everybody. There's an old saying, iron sharpens iron. Basically, the people you meet, the people you hang out with, the people that you do things with change you. Good, bad, or ugly, they change you. They change your perspective on things, they change how you see things, they change how you act, how you feel. Well, of course, when you're a kid, you think, oh, this, and this about everything. When you're 20, fight the power, fight the man, fight the understanding of what you know of as society. And then you get older, get kids, get a different perspective. You have a job that maybe you have to pay more money towards the government, you have to do things that you don't want to do, and you realize, oh, wait, I am the man now. People are fighting against me. Why are they fighting against me? Because they think I make too much money, or they think I'm, killing their vibe, or messing up their life, or not understanding where they come from. It's a cycle we go through as humans all the time, and yet every time you don't know what it's like to be. We've all been there, but yet we always go through the same cycle where we think we're special. This time it's different. Our parents don't know, our kids don't know, these people don't know. Well, we all have to go through different world experiences. You know, I can talk to someone who read a book on Afghanistan but has never been there, and my perspective by being there is different than the person who read a book about it. Okay, our worlds are different. Me talking to them, though, can hopefully help them change their perspective on it. Me talking to them also could help me, because maybe this book they read has information that I never thought of, or they show it in a light that I never understood. And that's the point. What I heard a lot lately, not just on the news, but from people everywhere, is, this person is not going to change me, or I'm not going to allow them to change me. The only way for you to not allow people in your life to change you is to not be around people. And that's the God's honest truth. I mean, you can't hang out with people, you can't spend time with people, you can't be around people and not have them change you. As a teacher, I was around a lot of teenagers, and their perspective on life tweaked mine. I never thought of the struggles that I had as a teenager because, when I was a teenager, I was doing a lot of stupid things, and then I changed my life around and changed my perspective and changed my environment. But kids who don't go through that traumatic of a change but still go through things, I never looked at them as struggling. I never looked at it as a struggle for them to just go to school every day, deal with their parents, deal with their siblings, deal with school, deal with homework, deal with life. I never saw that. And I started teaching full time, and I started talking to these kids and talking to these people, humans, who, let's be honest, they have their own struggles every day. They have their struggles because, like it or not, all of us are born selfish. We're selfish people. Every day we wake up thinking, what are we going to do today? Not, what is this person going to do? What is this person going to do? We wake up and we go, what can I do to make my life easier today? Okay? And these kids are thinking that, but as soon as they wake up, they're thinking, oh my gosh, I have this, and this. And they haven't had the life experience to balance that. When you're smaller, younger, whatever, you think, oh my God, 7 hours, long time for school. When you get older, you're like, oh, I've got 4 classes today. I've got lunch. I've got study hall. Okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to balance it? Okay, good. It changes. And then when you become an adult, you have, I have an 8-hour work day. Okay, well, I've got to do this, and this. How am I going to get all this balanced? It starts at a young age, figuring out how to balance, but in that 7th to 10th grade area of our lives, if you remember it well, which I don't as well as I should, It's learning how to adapt to your situation. When you're in sixth and seventh grade in middle school, you're kind of figuring it out. By the time you're in eighth grade, you feel like, oh, I've got this under control. And then you become a freshman. And of course, freshman life is different than middle school. So then you got to rebalance it. So ninth and 10th grade, you're figuring it out. By the junior year, you kind of got it. And by your senior year, you're good. But then from your senior year, you go to college, where classes are later. You stay up later. You don't have that parental supervision to make sure you're doing the right thing. No one's keeping track of your homework. You might have to have a job. Money's a whole different avenue. You can't just say, Mom, go buy me a pizza. Doesn't work that way, right? So it's funny because the people we meet in elementary school, they're our friends. We have birthday parties. We take them to Chuck E. Cheese or wherever we take them. Go to middle school, then the parties are a little different. We'll do drama together or band together or football together, and we hang out. And then in high school, parties are different again. You'll have parties at somebody's house. They'll be loud, obnoxious, maybe go to the pool, do something that high schoolers do. Then you go to college and the parties again are different. Everybody you're meeting throughout those stages have different life experiences. And the point of it all is to grow as a person. You don't just go to elementary school, middle school, high school, college to learn your ABCs, your 1, 2, 3s, your math, your calculus, your history, your science. You learn how to be a human being by being around other human beings. If you think about this in a different way, and I've known people, if you're homeschooled and you're never around anybody but your family, and then you go to a college, that college perspective is going to awaken things. It's either going to make you a much better person because you're learning about other people, or you're going to get scared off, freaked out, and you're going to isolate or even change who you are because you've never been around this many people. That's a funny thing to think about. Most of your life you've gone around and been around nobody but your family, and then all of a sudden you're around 6,000 other people who come from every society on the planet. Every race, every gender, every religious background, every non-religious background. You have professors who maybe have seen the world. You have professors who have never left their desk. You have people who are in your life every day that is not your homeschooling parents. You come from a small town where your high school is, say, maybe 100 people, and then you go to a college with 6,000 to 10,000 people. Again, same thing. It's a culture shock. You can take those years in college, just like you took high school, junior high, primary school, and you can learn, you can grow, you can change, or you can put your head in the sand, put your head down, and just go full bore crazy at education. Education, important, very, very important. But what I used to tell my students, and this is true, I think, for me at least, is it's not just about what you learn, it's who you become after you've learned, after you spend time. I always told my students, I want you to leave the class, not just learning about history, but having the tools to become a better human being, a more productive human being in our society. What I want to see in the world today, which I'm not seeing enough in my mind, and maybe this is just bias, I don't see enough people caring about other people. You can wake up every day and think about, what am I going to do today? Absolutely. I do it, you do it, everybody does it. But it's throughout the day. Are you trying to make a positive impact on the world? Are you trying to be that iron that's sharpening somebody else's iron? I've talked about this recently a lot because I'm working and talking to a lot of people who have not had a lot of people in their life who have tried to change them or help them grow. I've had a lot of people who have just been around people who tell them what they want to hear, tell them to do whatever they want to do, and never push them to grow. People always talk about, you need pressure to grow. Diamonds are made by coal being under pressure. I look at it differently. I look at it as when you're growing fruit or vegetables, You sometimes have to prune. You have to prune the plant to make it grow better. Sometimes you have to tweak things. You have to clip here or chip away there, and it hurts, or you're hurting part of the tree or the plant for that split second. But what happens is it grows healthier because of it. Take away something here and you get better there. I took away, between 8th grade and 9th grade, I decided to take away everybody that was in my life. I got rid of a lot of people who, in my mind, were not beneficial to me. I realized the path I was on was going to lead me down a path I could not come back from. So I pruned them all out, started new. When I started high school in a new school, there was still one kid that knew me from my prior time because he also changed schools. But he was a positive influence. He wasn't somebody that was leading me down the wrong path. So he wasn't a negative. You might say to yourself, well, I have no one in my life that leads me down a negative path. You might not. Unfortunately, for me, and probably for others, sometimes you don't realize those people are leading you down the wrong path until you're already down the path. I didn't think the kids that were pushing, encouraging, helping me down the wrong path, I didn't realize they were doing that for a couple of years. I didn't realize what was happening to me for a couple of years until it was already happening. It took a come to Jesus moment for me to even understand what was going on. And why I teaching and talking in the world, not just teaching but other places, why I always tell people, I want you to become a better human being, more fulfilled human being, somebody who's doing something positive in the world, is I keep telling that so they can see the perspective of who they are, where they are, and who they're hanging out with. No matter what school you go to, no matter where you go to work, no matter what you do in your life, there are going to be people who are good for you and bad for you. The influences you have are going to make a difference. I had really negative influences. Now, I had positive influences in middle school and elementary school that were good, but I didn't see them that way until probably 20 years later. I had a middle school teacher who, she was really hard on me. She was really hard on me. And after I got out of high school, I started looking back going, she was hard on me because she knew I was smart enough. I just was being an idiot. And she wanted to push me to do more, and I refused. I get that now. I had people in my life who really cared about me, but instead of taking that and trying to grow from it, I decided to fight back and do the opposite. And then that's, of course, every teenager on the planet. They rebel. My teenagers rebelled differently than maybe yours would, but my teenagers rebelled. You probably rebelled as a teenager. Your kids probably rebelled. I know students right now of mine that are teenagers that are rebelling, and that's what they do. I get it. But there's a safe rebellion, and then there's an unsafe rebellion. Safe rebellion is, no, I'm not cleaning my room. Unsafe is, I'm going to go out drinking and, steal a car. Okay, those are two different things. Okay, and I think we use the blanket phrase of rebellion as to cover everything. Okay, to me, rebelling is doing safe things that are against the people who are telling you to do the opposite. So your parents tell you to clean your room, you don't want to do it. Boom, rebellion. Other parts that when you go out, say drinking or doing drugs or doing stuff that isn't just rebelling, it's being unsafe. So I know people who, as teenagers, go and steal because, they're rebelling against their parents. Theft is not rebelling. Theft, drugs, drinking, doing things like that is not just rebelling. That's a whole different avenue. That is being dangerous. You're being dangerous because you think it's going to get you the attention, and the only way to get to the attention in your mind is to do something so outlandishly crazy that everyone will pay attention. The problem with that, and I've seen this firsthand, the problem with that is you're 16 years old, you just got caught stealing $600 in makeup, and now you've got something on your record. When you apply to college and they do a background check, as colleges do, if you haven't figured out a way to get that off your record, it's going to show up that you were a thief at 16 and you got caught, and that looks negative. Now, a lot of parents will take that and go, oh, I can get that off, I'll just pay money. Not everyone has that opportunity. Not every child who rebels dangerously has parents who are able to make that go away. So it's about the people in your life. Now, people say, well, I don't want them to change me. Then don't be around people. I got married. I'm like, I'm not going to change. I'm still going to watch sports every day. I'm still going to play video games. She's not going to tell me what to do. Okay, that was baloney. I don't have ESPN anymore. I do play video games. I watch sports, usually on Sundays on football. Basketball, I'll watch like the playoffs, sometimes a regular season game. I'll watch the World Series once in a while, but I haven't watched sports consistently probably since 2004. And that's so 20 years. And that's not because my wife is like, oh, you can't watch sports. There's other things we can do. And I've realized, spending time with her, watching a show, talking, doing something else is more enjoyable for the long-term goals of my life than the short-term goals of, I'm going to do what I want. She can't tell me what to do. I'm my own man. We're born into a society where we're meant to be around each other. We're meant to help one another change, grow, and be better. Now, does that mean everybody in my life has helped me grow? Absolutely not. And it's funny, I heard it on the radio this morning, them talking about Taylor Swift. Yes, T-Swizzle. Taylor Swift has a boyfriend who's a football player. And they said, oh, she's changing him. She's changing him because she's spending time with him and distracting him from football. So what? Football is 12, 13 years of your life. What about the other 60? Okay, he's an NFL player. He's got Super Bowls. It doesn't matter if he gets some time away from football and spends time, doing things he enjoys. And that's, I think, the biggest thing about this is the only people usually upset when we have a positive person in our life changing us are the people who are jealous that we're not letting them change us, we're letting somebody else change us. And that's funny to me because we're jealous. That's all it is. I'll be honest, I've been jealous of my kids' husbands or wives because I wanted to be number one in their life. And then their kids their wives or husbands show up and all of a sudden I'm not. And I feel jealous because I'm like, I want to talk to my kid. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to hear about them. It's my time. She's my gosh darn child too, stuff like that. And it's silly, I know. But it's also human nature. It's human nature that we want the people that we care about to care about us equally. But as a parent, that's not how it works. How it works is we help our kids grow. We give them knowledge, we give them wisdom, we give them strength, and then we give them freedom to go out on their own and to learn. They learn by seeing other people. My kids are now with other people who are more important in their lives, and I get that 100%. But at the time, I really struggled with them being with other people because I'm jealous. I struggled for a long time with my wife going out with her sisters, her mother, her friends. I wanted to be the biggest influence of my wife's life, and I realized I am. I'm her husband. But she also has to be able to see other people or God forbid, you know, she becomes so isolated she doesn't do anything with her life and she feels like she's been trapped in a world that she can't get out of. And I don't want that. I don't want that for her. I don't want that for us. I want the people in my life to be able to grow and to change and to be better. So that's the whole point, right? The whole point is we want not just us to be better. We want the people that we're with every day to be better. We want them to be well-rounded human beings. My wife, my kids, the people I know can't be well-rounded human beings if the only person they interact with is me. That's just not how it goes. What's funny is I also struggle with being around people and making new friends, as they say. And it's weird. It's weird because the struggle I have is not because I don't talk to people. It's I don't feel like I should need to talk to people. And I just feel like, okay, I can deal with a lot of this stuff on my own. I don't need to talk to people. Over the last year and a half, 2 years, though, I've realized I need to talk to people. I need to be communicating to people. I need to expand my horizons when it comes to people. And I've slowly started doing that. And it's more challenging than I thought. Why is it more challenging? Well, for the longest time, I didn't communicate with people well. In the Army, I communicated because that's kind of what you have to do in the Army. I get that. But those were Army friends. You know, most of us have not talked to each other since we got home. You know, we were all together for a while, got home. A lot of us connected for the first 60, 90 days. Then we stopped. You know, maybe we're friends on Facebook. We'll see each other once in a blue moon, but we live all over the country. It just doesn't, it doesn't work out anymore, and that's fine. But in the real world, I have to be around people who maybe don't have that Army experience, don't have the military experience. They don't have the je ne sais quoi of the life that I lived. And I can be all like, look at me, gung-ho G.I. Joe, or I can try to be toned down with it and let them talk about their life experience and add in just enough of mine that I'm not overbearing. That's my biggest challenge now. I start talking and I subconsciously or whatever, I try to become the center of attention. Well, I don't want to be the center of attention, but somehow I keep making myself the center of attention. And I don't try to do it, at least knowingly. I don't know if that's because as a kid, no one paid attention to me unless I was doing something stupid, or if it's just my brain being my brain, or if it's something else. And I realize, again, selfish. Humans are selfish. Narcissistic, probably a little bit. Why I know I'm not as narcissistic as some people can be is during the day, during the week, during the month, during the year, I really try to help other people. I try to help them, and I don't care about the attention. I don't care about people knowing about it. I try to help people in small ways. Help them learn how to do, a cloud storage for pictures, or help them learn how to do a slideshow or get music together, or help students with history questions or geography questions, or show up to a graduation. Just being there. When I went to a graduation this past June of a student I had, and I didn't try to show up and be, here I am to save the day. I showed up, I was quiet, stayed on the side, and when she came to me, I'm like, oh, hi, and talked, but I didn't barge in. And the reason I didn't barge in is because I wanted her, it was her day. I came to see her on her day, not, she wasn't there to see me, I was there to see her. And that's a struggle. Now, 2.5 weeks, my son's getting married. My dad's coming up. That's going to be a challenge for me. I still have issues with wanting to be the center of attention for my father. I believe I can do that. The last time he came up, I was okay. Wasn't great, but it was okay. I I was able to spend time with him. I was also a lot in my mind not jealous when he spent time with other people. But as a kid, if he spent time with my sisters or with somebody else and I didn't get to spend time with him, when I did get to see him, I was so angry all the time. I was angry because I wanted him to be in my life and to influence me. And when he didn't, I felt like he hated me or he didn't love me. And I know that sounds silly, but as a kid, you don't think about it. Now, here's the problem with me. I thought that all up until about 3 years ago when he didn't, if he didn't send me a birthday card or didn't reach out to me on a certain day or didn't communicate with me, I automatically thought it's because he hated me. And that wasn't the fact. It was the fact of, he was busy too, and I'm an adult, and if I really wanted to talk to him, why didn't I just call him? Crazy thought. Call somebody that you want to talk to. And that's something I'm trying to work out more and more. Like, I don't talk to him as much as I want to, but I, reach out to him every couple of weeks to say how he's going. He's coming up for the wedding. I knew that, which is great. I'm hoping the weather's good. And we're able to talk to each other more and more. Now the big challenge is learning how to balance that with everything else that's going on. Does that mean I'm going to be perfect? No. Does that mean you have to be perfect? Nope. But every day, here's the challenge. Every day, find someone in your life that you can sharpen with your presence, but that can also help you be better, sharpen you, be better. Now that could be somebody who helps you do paperwork, or somebody who helps you do your gutters, or help you with a project. But you also, at the same time you're doing that project that they're helping you, you can talk to them, talk about what's going on in their life, what's their life experiences, things like that. And that's the sort of stuff we need to do every day. Have somebody else help you while you're helping them. It's a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. So that's my challenge for this week for everyone, including myself. Find someone who you can influence with positivity that can also influence you with positivity. It's going to be a good thing. All right? So until next time, it's been Richard Mariello. Have a beautiful day, everyone.